Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to WWE News and Rumors. I'm your host, Mr. Braden Hodge. So this video is brought to you by SeatGeek. So if you guys are looking for tickets for any event in the entire world, it doesn't even have to be related to wrestling. Just use SeatGeek, use code Hodge, and save yourselves $20 freaking off of your tickets. So ladies and gentlemen, we're going to jump into this episode of WWE News and Rumors. Nothing to really mention at the beginning of this. Let's just go ahead and jump right in. So, the first news story of the day, is, and actually only news story I want to point out, is going to be about the Super Cena himself. That's why I'm wearing the shirt today. WWE have officially announced the month of June, which is now, today is June 1st, is actually going to be John Cena month. So welcome to Cena month, ladies and gentlemen. All month long, WWE will be celebrating John Cena. The reason for this, of course, this will be John Cena's 20th year in, I guess, the WWE since his WWE debut. And I don't know if he's necessarily returning or anything like that, but probably like on every show they'll do like a little moment for John Cena for the entire month. So this, ladies and gentlemen, is Cena month. So, believe it or not, that is actually the only confirmed news story I had to talk to you guys about today. So go and get your juice boxes out, get your juice boxes ready, because ladies and gentlemen, it is now time to talk about some juicy rumors. Alright, the first rumor of the day is about Lacey Evans. So Lacey Evans was not on this past Monday Night Raw. A lot of people were kind of upset about this because she was advertised for the show, but she did not show up for the show. She was not there. And the rumored reason she was not there is the day before she was actually in a totally different state doing the NASCAR thing. She was doing the Coca-Cola 600. Being waving the flags or whatever she was doing. So yeah, Lacey Evans, that's where she was. That's why she wasn't on Raw. I guess it was just an advertisement mistake actually advertising her for the show because there was no way she could actually be there. Alright, the next rumor is about the Women's Tag Team Tournament. If you have no idea what I'm talking about, hopefully you have a sense of it. But basically, as WWE have been publicly shaming them, Sasha Banks and Naomi have walked out of the WWE. Which is just still nuts to me. Like, it just doesn't seem real, and it's not a storyline, it's a legitimate thing. But basically, they have vacant tag titles, and they gotta find some champions. I mean, they gotta make some champions, they gotta do a tournament for this. But basically, we haven't heard anything about the tag tournament in a while, and pretty much, it's kind of not going anywhere. It's dead in the water before it even starts. So, basically, Vince McMahon had to sign off on this, and he has yet to sign off on this, and the plans kept changing, and they don't really have the teams together on what they're doing. So for the Women's Tag Team Championships, honestly, I have absolutely no idea what they're doing. So we'll just have to wait and see on that. But there's this giant tournament thing, we never got signed off, things kept changing, couldn't find teams, and this is just a disaster. Like, an utter freaking disaster. Alright, the next rumor is going to be about the Money in the Bank 2022 pay-per-view. So this is, like, sucks. So this is kind of relevant because I am going to Money in the Bank. I will be in Las Vegas. I've actually planned a giant trip to go out to Las Vegas and over to California as well for an entire week. So that will be a great time, but I had this planned around this whole Money in the Bank stadium show. Now it's no longer a stadium show. They've canceled the stadium show, changed the venue for Money in the Bank. Now Money in the Bank's in a small arena with only 12,000 people instead of this giant stadium. And this has kind of changed the plans for a lot of things. So Brock Lesnar was advertised for Money in the Bank, for an example, and the only reason they had him advertised for this show is because it's a stadium show. They needed to sell it out. They needed to sell tickets, so they had Brock on the show. But now that it's not a stadium show, Brock more than likely won't be wrestling. Ronda Rousey was advertised because it was a big stadium show. Ronda Rousey may not be wrestling unless she's the champion, and she should be. We'll see about that. But now we have this whole thing about Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns, the undisputed Universal Champion, and they actually wanted like one of his first defenses as the undisputed Universal Champion to be at the stadium show. But the stadium show is no longer happening. It's moved to a smaller venue. So the question remains, is Roman even wrestling? We really don't know. But that was the kind of thinking behind all these advertisements, and this is why the new Money in the Bank poster has none of these people advertised for the show. Because honestly, he's up in the air right now. They don't know what they're doing. They have no plans right now, and we will just have to wait and see what they're doing, because they don't even know themselves right now. Alright, the next rumor is about the Hell in a Cell pay-per-views. Hell in a Cell is this Sunday, and yet there are no SmackDown matches on the show. You heard me right, the show is literally only a few days away. There is no SmackDown matches, there's only Raw matches, which have started up these rumors that maybe WWE are starting up these branded pay-per-views again. So maybe Hell in a Cell is a Raw branded pay-per-view, and maybe the next pay-per-view, Money in the Bank, will be a SmackDown branded pay-per-view. Now, I really don't like the idea of making it a SmackDown pay-per-view for Money in the Bank because it's the Money in the Bank briefcase. Cash it in anywhere, anytime. I just feel like we should have Raw and SmackDown, both superstars, in that match. so everyone gets a fair shot at the main championship in the whole company instead of just SmackDown only stars being able to get an opportunity for that. So we'll wait and see where this goes, but it's really odd that there's no SmackDown stars, like no matches whatsoever on the Hell in a Cell show. So this is kind of like really confusing on what they're doing, and if they're bringing back the brand and pay-per-views. It looks like they are, because literally it's a few days away. There's no SmackDown matches unless they're going to announce something very last minute on SmackDown. It's very weird, and this is kind of bringing up some questions for Money in the Bank. So I guess we'll just have to wait and see. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, this will be the final news show, the final thing we talk about inside this episode of WWE News and Rumors. This is about Bray Wyatt, also, or should I say, formerly known as The Fiend. I guess formerly known as Bray Wyatt. But basically, he is teasing on Twitter that maybe, just maybe very, very soon, that he will be returning to the professional wrestling business, or maybe even the WWE. So he's been teasing this. He said it's very, very soon happening. So we will wait and see what's happening with Bray. There's some rumors starting up that Bray maybe be Hell in a Cell. It's kind of a theme for The Fiend or whatever. Maybe he'll be returning then. Now, of course, he is no longer under a WWE contract, no longer works for the company. He's been released via budget cuts, was the reason they started for this. So, I mean, I really want the guy to return to the WWE. But, you know, he could be teasing something for AEW or maybe even another wrestling company. But it looks like Bray's getting ready for a return. I really would like a WWE return to Hell in a Cell. I'd like them to treat him right and book him right. And we'll wait and see where that goes. But Bray Wyatt return, possible Sunday, maybe. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. But Bray Wyatt is teasing return nonetheless, and hopefully something comes up soon. So there you guys have it. That's actually going to do it for this episode of WWE News and Rumors. I am your king of Vlogstyle, Brandon Hodge, and I will see you guys in the next video.